So I guess we'll just start. Hi, Internet. Hi, Indy.
Immediately.
We're only lovers left in the library, a romance book club, and weird romance. And this month was Tashai's birthday. So
Yay!
we're going to do a quick birthday celebration because we don't get to do it all the time. So here we go.
Yay! Internet, I'm finally 15.
I'm gonna light these candles, and then we're gonna start singing. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ty. Happy birthday to Okay, I didn't know I'd be the only one singing.
I'm accompanying you. Okay, Tosh, ready? 1, 2, 3. Make a wish. Movie magic!
Yay! Love it. This cupcake sure will be delicious when I try it off screen.
I'm sending you a slice tomorrow.
Yummy!
But for real, happy birthday. I love you so much.
Yay! Thank you. This has been a good birthday. I didn't spiral into depression like the last couple birthdays. I had enough stuff to do with the power of Lizzo.
Oh yeah, that's why I got this vodka juice thing, because I kept seeing the Lizzo ads on my Instagram, and I was like, I'm gonna get that juice.
Blame it on the juice, blame it.
If I say something good about the book, then I'll blame it on the juice.
You haven't lived until you've seen her perform "Blame It on the Juice" while playing her flute, flouting.
I'm not alive, but we'll see. We'll get there.
She's like. And then the white man in front of me blocked me, and I was like, and then he moved to the other side, and I was like,
I want you to see. Oh, my dog got a haircut.
Ay, Dios mío. Let me see the baby.
Pulling her from under the table.
Oh my god.
Now?
Just look at her. Oh my god.
She looks
She's looking so
fresh.
fresh.
Because her ears aren't all splayed and frizzy.
Mira.
They shaved her butt. So now she
Mira.
has that feathery stuff. Alright, get off.
That's adorable. Well, Dante has little baby teeth coming out now, and I got to see those today.
Dante the child, not the dog. Yes.
The child, not the dog. Yeah. Yes. My mom's she sends me videos of him, and I was like, oh, so cute. And it's just the camera getting more and more out of focus as they get close, and they keep giving him bits of food, and he's drooling, and and they're like, no, show your teeth. Show your teeth.
Oh, God.
And he's just drooling, his tongue's in the way.
Cool. It's been a good month, I think. I mean, it ended strong, but it felt busy. I don't know. It was weird.
It was rough. There was a lot going on.
I like your candle, Drea.
It's not yours, don't worry.
I was gonna say, you can light mine for hangouts only. Those are the only occasions you can light it without me there.
Okay, but you should have told me that, before we did hang out.
I know, but it didn't occur to me until right now.
Christina has a candle that she always lights for D&D because there's some dice at the bottom. Is that what's on?
Well, it's from Cantrip Candles, and it's D&D themed, and it's called Dungeon Depths. So I would take that candle and I light it, to set the mood. And, but it's always melted magma every time, so I just leave it at Andrea's where we do the session. Usually.
Yeah, but I have very strict rules. I can't touch it or light it. Over for D&D. Did you touch my drum set?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, if it's a group activity, then you may light it. Okay, let's get into it. So we take turns every month, And this month, it was Andrea's turn, and she picked War by Thalassa.
Good God, girl. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
That's a song. It's
Peace.
an actual song.
So, okay. Wars. Debate.
Yes. And so, Andrea, why did you pick War by Thalassa?
I picked it because did I pick the last one?
It was me.
No. Christina picked the first book in the Four Horsemen series, and then ended up hating it, but I actually ended up, like,
in love with the main character.
Kind of actually really liking it, and then, you know, it was going to just be forgotten in my memory, but then it kind of resurfaced because it was up for, like, a Goodreads award, and, like, just to spite Christina, I, like, voted for it for, like, best romance of the year through multiple rounds, and so it stayed fresh in my mind. And then when I saw the second book had come out, slightly, again, to spite Christina.
Well, yeah, and then I put it in the chat, and I'm like, I dare you. You wouldn't dare. I triple talk dare you. She's like, fine.
Adds it to the list.
Put it on the agenda. I was like, no.
So I ended up reading it, but now, you know, I feel like we've got to keep going. Like, it's like an only lovers thing. So I may have to continue picking the rest as they come out. But that is why I picked it.
Okay.
Cool.
So obviously at the end of this book they allude to the next book, which is famine.
Yeah.
And the line's like, they're all gonna starve. And I'm just like, I read it while I was in the bathroom at work, and I'm like, why wouldn't you start with famine?
Look, we can't know all of God's plans. Just saying.
You can hide from the plague and you can hide from the war, but
no,
all your food goes bad.
What doesn't make sense to me is that really they should have just sent them all at once, because if theoretically Pestilence had done his job correctly, everyone should be dead. There wouldn't be anyone for War to kill.
Yeah.
And then if War had done his job, like, okay, fine, Pestilence failed, but you know what I mean? It's like, if they're going one by one, it's like they're saying you're all gonna fail and we need backup plans.
And they keep alluding to the fact that it's like a test for the horsemen.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
is it a test for the horsemen or a test for humanity?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what mythology the author is going for. We're just gonna pick and choose whatever Bible reference that serves the plot.
Well, at some point in the story, it's like, oh, this was a test. Like, with the whole her having a scar that said surrender, she's like, the message was for him, not for me, because he's the one who can read angelic, and like, why would I be able to read my own neck? So it's like, why would it say surrender? And it's like, it's a test for him. Oh my god! It's like,
okay, I don't want to jump in like super hardcore right now. I have so many questions. I'm ready for Andrea. So it was Andrea's pick. So Andrea wrote some questions for us, but before we do that, we have to, which was what we're already doing, we give our overall impression.
Well, first we should read the description so people know the fuck we're talking about.
Yes. So does anyone have it pulled up?
Yes, I pulled it up.
Cool. You
may do the honors.
While I
feed me my cupcake.
Yes. Open wide.
Did I read the little intro that talks about all of them, or just skip to specific to this book?
Do what you want. Do what you want with your body.
All right. I'm just gonna skip to this specific one.
Ooh, no problem.
The day Jerusalem falls, Miriam el-Mahdi knows her life is over. Houses are burning, the streets run red with blood, and a traitorous army is massacring every last resident. There is no surviving this, especially not once Miriam catches the eye of War himself. But when the massive and terrifying horseman corners Miriam, he calls her his wife, and instead of killing her, he takes her back to his camp. At this point, I already knew Chris would hate it because she hates the whole, like, prisoner to love trope.
That's okay. I made notes. I've got notes. Carry on.
Anyway, now Miriam faces a terrifying future, one where she watches her world burn town by town, and the one man responsible for it all is her seemingly indestructible husband.
But there's another side to him, one that's gentle and loving and dead set on winning her over, and she might not be strong enough to resist. However, if there's one thing Miriam has learned, it's that love and war cannot coexist. And so she must make the ultimate choice, surrender to war and watch humankind fall, or sacrifice everything and stop him.
Or run the fuck away. What would you do, Shai? I would not have gone back to the city. I would have left.
Okay, who wants to go first? Oof. Oh, that's good. Damn. Lizzo?
What, your drink?
Juice?
Yeah, it's just delicious.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I
Nice.
guess I'll go first.
Wait,
So I'm going
what did we all rate it?
So I gave it 1 star.
I think I gave it either 3 or 4. I'm not sure.
What did I give this?
Y'all rated it higher than me. If
I think I gave it 3 stars.
If I could give it 0 stars or negative stars, I probably would have.
I'd give it, if I could give it 2.5, I would. And because, I don't know, I'm used to it viendo Mario.
Honestly, I probably would have given it a 3, but I gave it a 4 because I knew Chris gave it really low ratings.
I always, you know how, that I rate based on my enjoyment, and this is probably the book that I've hated the most reading. And like, not even because it was bad, it was just a lot of feelings as I was reading it. So like, not to jump in, but problems that I had with the book. First, it was boring as shit because I was reading the same plot. And I get it, people are super into it. I mean, there were some differences obviously, but
Chris was like, oh, I see. They both love bats.
that's I mean, I really felt like I was reading the same
Main character.
It was the same chick.
Yeah.
She didn't have anything to really distinguish her from the other one. I'm going to pull some quotes because I had pulled some quotes earlier, and I want you to tell me if it's from Pestilence or from War.
That's a trap.
You tell me which is which.
That's a trap. They're all from Pestilence.
No. Listen, anyway. I need to pull them up. I don't have them here.
Hey, I was ready.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'll do it while someone, like, I'll save them, or I'll bring them up when someone else is saying and then we'll do that. But, but yeah, it just felt like I was reading the same thing, and it wasn't, like, the first time for me wasn't very enjoyable, but in hindsight, I enjoyed the first book way better than this one.
Yeah.
Mostly because I guess this is not my genre. Like, I'm not into, like, morality romance where it's like, I've got to save the man and save the world, or the man that I love is doing absolutely heinous things. Y'all know
Is that what it's called? Morality romance?
that's what I'm calling it, because I cannot, I don't know if that's what it's called, but I feel that that's what it is. Like there's a moral choice here to fuck or not fuck this, like, heinous being. Like, hey,
I think it is the thing. Maybe not to this extreme,
yeah,
but I feel like it's the thing.
This is not my genre, and I'm not gonna say that I'm like the most mightiest, like most moral, most, like, you know, but I have I draw the line at horsemen, I guess, is what I'm saying. And then here's the thing. War, as opposed to Pestilence, has, for me, absolutely no redeeming qualities. That guy was an ass. And I know I say this about a lot of main characters, but he was such an ass that I would prefer, I mean, if you had to have me choose, I would absolutely go back and say, okay, yeah, I'm down. Let's go with Pestilence. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, in comparison, Besties is a better choice. But yeah, because he was a jerk.
Well,
Sing it. Sing your choice.
I can't. They're not clicking off.
The song. You can do it.
I'm sorry. Maybe later. I don't know. Think about it.
Por lo menos Pente was like, I feel really shitty about killing these older people. Ugh. Fuck. War's just like,
Going along, like, I know you said, like, oh, I hate him, no redeeming qualities, I would have gone with base pay or whatever. But my first question is, if you were in this situation, would you have chosen death over pledging allegiance? Like, would you really have chosen death? 100% in real life, would you choose death?
100 fucking percent. I would have rather fucking died than given that dude a moment of my time. That's it.
I think you're lying, but
Yeah,
I think you're full of shit.
you're full of shit.
I don't think I am. I would rather. Okay, well, at the point. Okay, rewind. First of all, she thought her family was dead, right? So if I'm in the same situation, my family's dead, and I got nothing else to live for, except for being this guy's wife, then I'm not gonna do it.
No. We're not saying if right now, today, the apocalypse happened, and this guy said dead or
There are
allegiance.
too many factors.
She also wasn't sure if her family was dead or not. She's like, they're probably dead.
Amanda's out there, and she might need you, and you're really gonna choose death?
Amanda will understand.
Wow.
No, she won't, because Amanda's gonna pledge allegiance.
Amanda,
Yeah, she would.
I have an honest question for you. So there's a horseman coming and killing everybody, and then he either says, you have to pledge allegiance to me, like he's saying it to me, you have to pledge allegiance to me, be my wife, be my sugar baby, or you die. And I'm like, I would, she went like this. And
No. But wait. She doesn't have the whole story. Can she hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you. Amanda, if you pledge allegiance, you get to help save more babies and more people, and like help take care of all the people that you managed to save, or you just die.
But I would be this guy's like
Concubine, yes.
No, because he tells her you're my wife, but then he also says, you don't have to fuck me.
Yeah, you just have to live in the compound and help the other people that are spared.
That's the thing. He says, you're my wife, but, you know, unless you want to have sex with me, which you might, you don't have to have sex with me, I'm not going to force myself on you. Yeah, okay, sure. Cool. I'm in charge of cheese.
I don't think so.
I run the war library.
I honestly don't know. Until I'm in the moment, God. And then the horseman will just walk in here and like ask me right now.
Cristina, if you had to choose between pledging allegiance and eating a bucket of cockroaches,
Oh, I would pledge allegiance.
okay, and that's just a bucket of fucking cockroaches. It's not you being dead. It's not you getting stabbed and then being left out in the sun.
But eat a bucket of cockroaches or die, a part of me would die. I would consider it. That's all I can say. I can't say like, yes, I'd go for it. I would think about it. I would stall for time as much as I could.
Okay, well, Tashai and I would clearly both pledge allegiance.
I'm like fucking sure, but I'm uncomfortable with the idea of killing other people. Is there another job I can do? And then he'd be like, I guess you can like work in the kitchen. I'd be like, fine, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's, you know.
And then I'd be in the back waiting for someone to destroy him.
I mean, I guess. It just takes a long time. All the horsemen take forever. It takes multiple tries in the books.
I'll just be in the back of the camp somewhere.
And it never takes until like 80% of the book. You notice
Huh.
that? I looked in the first book too. At the same time. I was like, yeah. And then I looked at the pit, and there was pestilence, and there was war, and there was pestilence, and there was... And he was on the ground, and he was not getting up.
Yeah, my version of that book would be, I feel like something happened, but I'm really far away, so I can't really see, but I feel like it's something serious. So I'm just gonna stay here. Read the book.
Okay. So you take the deal, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Immediately.
I don't know. My heart tells me
I
but
100% believe that you would take the deal if you're just saying that because you don't actually have a blade to your neck.
exactly.
But
I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna take it unless it's absolute. Guys, This is the Aquarius in me. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm not gonna do it. But if he's like here, like, ugh, the kazoo to my neck, then I'll be like, okay, I'll think about it. Jeez.
Yeah, it's definitely the Aquarius in me. I don't need this. I
fucking
just
need this shit.
myself.
I
I
don't
don't care. You can tell me what to do.
Okay. Pragmatic.
Okay, well now that we have gotten that out of the way,
Yeah.
and we would have all pledged allegiance, my next question was, most of this book is her being like, oh my god, I hate him so much because he's killing all these people. Oh my gosh, I'm so attracted to him. Oh my god, he disgusts me. Oh my god, I want to bang him. And then that eventually turns into like caring about him, and not just like physically but like emotionally too. So my question is, do you believe that it is actually possible, like outside of this book, just like in life, do you think it is possible to both hate and love someone so intensely at the same time?
Yes.
I think that it's possible that you think that you love someone, or that someone loves you, like in an abusive relationship. Absolutely. But if true hate...
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think you can actually truly hate and truly love someone at the same time? Or do you... Because are you saying that you might think you feel both, but you only actually feel one?
Yes. It's hard for me to reconcile. Why I just can't... that's why it's just so fucking hard to relate. I'm like...
I mean... I think you can, but again, yeah, like Christina said, there's a is it healthy part of the conversation that isn't being had in the book. I've had really intense feelings for people, and then like they were terrible people to have intense feelings for, but that didn't erase the fact that I had both intense feelings for them and recognized that they were bad and were dicks. But it wasn't healthy. It wasn't like a healthy situation.
I don't know.
But like, would you have tried to murder them? Because she legit tries to kill him, even though she loves him. Like, it's to that level.
I mean, when she tries to kill him, I don't think she like actually loved him yet. But
yeah, because then afterwards, all of her attempts were to like subterfuge. They weren't like actual attempts on his life.
No, when she tries to kill him in his bedroom, after they've had like all that sex and stuff, like
she knew he couldn't die. I think that was her more just like trying to prove that she was a good person, and a good person would kill him. And I think she was trying to be like, I can do this. Like, I don't love him. He's a piece of shit. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill him, knowing that she wasn't gonna be able to kill him anyway, and she was gonna get caught.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. See, it's hard to parse it out, because I think that the whole, loving a terrible person, how terrible the person is, and how strong the feelings are, I don't know.
I mean, you can love a terrible person, but you have to be of the same mindset as that person, because someone loved Hitler, but they were also a terrible person. I'm saying impossible. Like, it's possible to love someone who is a monster, but you have to then also be a monster and genuinely have feelings of love.
Yeah, so I don't
for someone horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if what do you think, Andrea? Because I don't think it's possible. I think that you could lie to yourself, but I think love.
So then, okay,
love
so
wins. Unfortunately.
So do you think she never truly hated him and just always kind of liked him, and that turned into love, or she hated him and then stopped? Like, I'm trying to figure out. Like,
I think that she was scared. Hear me out. I think that, yeah, she was scared. And why wouldn't you be scared? Because it's like this mythological, biblical figure coming down, rain terror on your whole fucking life, raising the dead, and murdering everybody left and right. and I'm stuck with him. So let me look for some redeeming qualities. 6-pack. Fuck yeah. Now I'm thirsty for it. Now I don't have to think about all the people that he's murdering. Now I don't have to think about all of the, how I'm complicit, even though I'm powerless. I'm actually, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I really, what can I do? Honestly, I'm just going to shoot little arrows and, I'm going to try to like sabotage his plans, and I'm a good person because I'm trying to do it that way, but it's really just half-assing it and her just kind of like, that's how I see it. I'm not going to say like Stockholm Syndrome, but that's how
I was gonna say Stockholm Syndrome.
That's how I can see it. That's how I can see it working where her love and attraction for him is more a survival mechanism and eventually convincing herself that she can look past all of the bad because he's a type of idiot for some human things, and he says things, whatever. He just says things and, he's super nice, and so she can get over it, and she sees the good in him, but he murders thousands before he gets there. And so now she loves him and everything's okay.
He lets her take a bath, so clearly she's like, ooh.
So that's how I think that the two can coexist, but I don't think that they can. I think that you can lie to yourself and feel one more than the other, but I don't think that they can, like, you can 100% love someone and then also 100% hate them.
Yeah.
Deep. Also, you're wearing a Latinx t-shirt.
I'm wearing your shirt, Tosh.
Ah!
It's got a mustard stain down here.
Tide stick.
I tried.
Well, if you can't get rid of it, just try to see if you can, like, sew a little patch on it or something.
It's barely noticeable. I mean, I know it's there.
Just put a different stain on it, and then...
I wanted to tie-dye the shirt, actually. Because it's, like, white. I think it will look really cool. Anyway, so that was a good question. I had to think hard.
No, that's good. I was trying to go, and that's how my next question is like that, too. I was trying to turn this into, like, a...
productive conversation?
Like, yeah.
Rather than, I hate this book so much!
By the end of this talk, Andre is going to be like, so by your logic, you actually like him.
No, so my next question, and it's kind of the big thing in the book, right? And the big thing in all the books, I guess, because the same thing happened with Pestilence, is that he ends up changing or seeing like the redeeming qualities in humans or whatever. So my question is, what exactly do you think caused War to abandon his mission? Like, what was the thing? Do you think that he... No, I mean, like, do you think he truly changed his view on humans? Do you think a person can even change that much? So, like, what do you think caused the change, and do you think it was a genuine change? I guess, is two questions in one.
Pussy. Pretty much my answer.
The holy water.
So then, if it was sex that changed him,
that's what I have to go for. Okay, so
is it a genuine change? Like, did he truly change his entire like moral code?
Pussy is powerful. I'm just...
No. I think in his mind he's like, oh, you can die. I guess me killing other people sucks?
Okay, it was harder for me to... I don't want to jump in, Tosh. Like, if you're not done, let me know.
No, go for it.
I'm gonna stumble through it because I don't know how to start answering this question. But as I was reading it, Pestilence's change of heart seemed more genuine because he seemed more alien in the way that he was written. I don't know. He just didn't seem like a Do you know what I mean? He just didn't seem like a human person. Whereas
Yeah.
War, I've definitely seen this guy at like the barbecue place. Like, you know, like this is a person that exists in the world.
I was just envisioning him as Khal Drogo.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't really...
Well, that makes sense, though, because he does say in the book, he's like, I'm the only one... He basically says that I'm the only one who exists inside of men. Like, I'm inside the hearts of men, so I am a man.
A piece of shit.
Yeah. And so when he kind of, like, turns the good coin, you know, I found it really hard to believe. I never felt like he really 100% meant it. And then the thing is that the book asks a lot of me. It asked me to do a lot. I fucking did a lot of emotional labor reading this. And then to answer that, I don't know how the horsemen work. So I don't know what changed. What like he went from like being a supernatural creature to not. And there were like outside influences.
Because like for most of the book, for the first like 2/3, like whenever he talks about pestilence, he's like, "Oh, my brother who failed." You know what I mean? Like he looks down. It was weird for me because clearly he knew that changes apart were possible because his brother had one, but he like looked down on it, and then he had one too. So it was just like. I just wanted to know what you guys thought about it, because it just seemed very...
Well, about
I
that,
think... I was just going to say, I think a lot of it... This is me thinking about this right now. The fact that he is able to knock her up, because, spoiler alert, she ends up pregnant. I think the realization that he has the ability to have a kid makes him accept the human parts of his nature, which then makes him understand that if humanity is so flawed that they've been put through this test, that means he's partially or probably flawed in some way. And it makes him have to then evaluate what or who he is and what he's here for, and if it really makes any sense that he's been mindlessly doing this shit. So I think the idea of, like, a kid who he has been responsible for, like, he's never created life, he has only ever taken life. Mm-hmm. And raising the dead isn't the same as creating life. So he did this thing he's never done before. And he's done everything before. So suddenly it's this one thing that he's never done before and never experienced before. And it's like, oh, maybe I'm more like them than I ever thought. Shit, what am I actually doing? I think it's stupid because having a child will change this. Like, a baby can fix it!
Can it?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. But I feel like he was like just as selfish as everybody else too. It was like that movie that we saw, Drea, Sorry to Bother You. It's not a problem until it's affecting you personally. It's not a problem. Like, everyone else can die, but like when it's like, oh, I'm at risk, now it's a problem. Now I need to stop it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because I think he starts to change a little bit. Basically every time that she's in danger or her life is like threatened, he becomes a little bit more like, wait, I don't want this human to die. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. And then he starts like sparing more and more people. And I think Tashai is right. I think the baby for him is a big like
game changer,
pivotal moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he can't be like, that's not mine. It's like, ugh.
The one cool thing about this book was his ability to raise the dead. I was like, that's cool. Like, I was like...
His ability to raise the dead?
Yeah, like his ability to raise the dead and then use the dead, like, as his, like, extra army. Like, if he had stuck to that, trust me that he would have won this fucking war. Like, that sounds like a winning strategy.
Yeah, but he liked killing people with his own hands.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
I know, but he could have. Just saying, there were ways to destroy his armpit. There were ways to. there. I think he could have succeeded. I don't know why. I don't know why they dilly dally so much. Back to the beginning of this
I
conversation.
could always use my dishwasher, but I just like doing dish by hand sometimes, you know. Wait, I'm ready for the.
I'm looking it up. Okay, you tell me which one is this one. If you think this is about winning, then you haven't been listening to me at all.
Pestilence. Oh, I'm gonna win.
Hold on, damn it.
Silly.
Okay. No! Okay, gotta pull up my notes, because some of the notes have nothing to do with that.
There's some chapstick on.
Okay.
Well, I already got the first one, so I'm 100% right now.
Did you, Andrea? You never seen Game of Thrones, right? So you don't know Khal Drogo, who's got Cal, but I pictured him like that too.
Girl, he had Jason Momoa, but like with coal. Everyone always wears coal. Coal around his eyes and the braid. I'm like, really, lady? Why didn't you just say Khal Drogo?
I can't find my notes. What did I do?
Aporrate.
I probably did.
We can just say that I all of them.
All right, I'll upload them later. I can't find. I'm like pulling up my notes like on the Kindle, and it's not coming up. I'm like, why? I had such good ones. Even just the both narrators, just like talking in their heads. It's the same girl.
I probably wouldn't be able to recognize the differences between the two girls, but I feel like I could recognize Pestilence versus
War.
That
quote that I read wasn't Pestilence. That was the narrator. If you think this is about winning, then you haven't listened to anything I've said. That's the girl.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that, like, I don't think... I will give you that the girls are, like, very, very similar.
Where do you find your, like, highlighted things?
Well, you're supposed to be able to find it in X-ray.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Can we talk about... Do you have another question, Drea? Or can we make an aside really quick?
I have one more question. We can do it now, or if you have something you want to talk about, we can do that too.
Well, I don't know if your question's going to cover this, but okay. So if it does, then I won't have to ask it of you guys, because I had thought as well.
Okay. My last question is kind of like a finale sort of thing, so you can do yours first.
How did you guys feel about the inclusion of culture in the book? Did you feel like it added anything at all to the story, seeing as how this could have easily happened in Tennessee, in my opinion?
Okay, you know what I thought was like really, I agree with you there, but I also felt that it was because there wasn't like a 100% commitment to it, because like she wrote, like the characters all talked like they were American.
Yep.
They used American slang, and so that took away a lot from me.
She says holy dick balls all the time, and I'm like,
so for me it was like, okay, well, clearly this person would never be saying this if they actually were living where they're supposed to be living. And like I understand whatever the book is written in English because it's for English. Like I don't need words in other languages or whatever, but at least don't make it sound like it's an American talking with American slang.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't make it seem believable.
And the only time that it does come up is when she like touches her bracelet and things.
Yeah. She's like, oh, this one bracelet that I have. No, even when he's like, why don't I fuck you raw and feast on your pussy and keep you chained to my bed like a proper husband? I highlighted, I'm like, pretty sure this language would not be used.
I mean,
here. I read the dog-eared romance novel Left in My Tent. Where did you get a dog-eared romance novel?
I mean, that's not to say that's not to say that those things can't exist. It's just you're right. We don't need words in other languages to get a sense of that there is something foreign here. But But there's nothing else. There are no other signifiers except for the setting, and I can look up a setting on a map and tell you, Google Maps and Google Earth is a wonderful thing. I don't have to actually go somewhere, but I did feel like it was just like pick a place on the trail and then mention it, and then oh no, the people of Aleppo, and you're just like, there's I didn't feel like, remember when we were like looking at the reviews and people were like they're coming for her for that, and I feel like it's very merited. Like she could have been a little bit more, could have handled it with more care, could have like shown it more care and not half-assed it and just picked a different setting because it's a different part of the world.
I want you to know that I'm looking at my highlights and there is no context. I don't know what scene this is or anything. But all I have highlighted is across my collarbones.
We all know why you highlighted
We all know why you highlighted that.
But I completely forgot.
Triggered.
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
I do the same thing. I highlighted, moments later, my breasts feel free, and I wrote, it's never small titties.
You know what I highlighted that I just thought, I don't know why I thought it was like really like funny, but it's when he found out that she's pregnant and he's like, an entire month? My child has been in you that entire time? No wonder you've been so bloodthirsty. I don't know why that made me laugh. But at that point I kind of liked him too, so I was like, okay.
When they're fooling around and she's like sucking his dick, he's like, mercy to the fallen, I've never felt this sensation. And my note is, you definitely got your dick sucked before you liar.
Right? What is he talking about?
It's like, oh, sweet mercy, this is amazing. I'm like, look.
Maybe she had her finger in his ass, and that changed everything. She was like stimulating him. And
maybe, I could believe that he didn't, because if you were only having sex with people, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but imagine like Christina just pledged allegiance, and she's just gonna like bite it off, and like,
he's not.
He's not. Pros.
Girl, he's not fucking people who don't want to fuck him. He's fucking people who go to his tent in the middle of the night and are like,
his bitches. Yeah, bitches.
Oh no! My God, it just.
Look at these collarbones.
There's definitely been people who gone to his tent and been like, I only take it in the house.
But to Shy, she was sucking his dick with love, okay? And that's different. That's different.
You mean that's when you don't hold your breath?
Look, man, I don't fucking know. It was weird. This book was weird and harder to...
What do you think of... this isn't one of my questions, but it's something that I wondered throughout the book. I feel like in the first book, in Pestilence, they do talk about, like, okay, there's like a godlike figure who sent Pestilence to do this thing, but that's kind of where it stays at. And then in this book, they're like, oh, he also resuscitated Miriam and marked her for you because you are meant to be together. And it just felt like
it felt like an episode of Lucifer. That's what it felt like.
It was. I felt like it wasn't so much a standoffish like, I created these horsemen and sent them out. Like, now it seemed more of like a
puppet master.
There's a plot.
Yeah, like a little puppet. I don't know. It was strange.
I guess we'll find out in the next book.
I don't know how I felt about the neck mark.
Yeah,
I thought the neck mark was gonna be like a coincidence. He's like, you're meant for me, and you're so special, and really, it's like this got infected, and then it ended up looking like this. Like, this isn't what it looked like when I got the cut. It's what it looked like because I didn't put Neosporin on it.
Yeah, I thought that too, and that's why I was so thrown off when they were like, oh, no, someone gave this to you on purpose because you are actually meant for him. Like, I didn't like that.
Meant for it to, yeah, because it's It's like a great game, so to speak. And I feel like it gave him license to. I feel like the author maybe put it there because it gives him license to be more of a dick. Because
it
you're my
gives
wife,
a
so
reason
now I
as to
have-
why he would be kidnapping her.
Yeah,
Like, of
why
course he would be keeping
Yeah.
her in a tent. She's his.
She's his wife, and he's gonna treat her with a semblance of respect because wife. And
Yeah, but then if that's all true, then she was literally just sent there by God
To stop
make
it.
him surrender. So, like, why didn't God just not wake him up in the first place if he changed his mind about the
I
apocalypse?
think that in this
That's
case,
why I
it's not
don't understand what the point of this series is, because why would you create and unleash the horsemen if the point is for the horsemen to learn a lesson about not doing what they were told is their mission to do?
I think
Which
that
brings me to my final question.
okay.
Clearly, this has nothing to do with God, and it's just like a really specific fantasy that the author has that she is playing out in these books. So,
Maybe.
what weird little romance fantasy would you play out if you were writing romance books? Like, what would be your 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?
You all know it would be dragon romance. You know the answer to that. Like a human dragon romance.
Like dragon people, or just
no,
full
like
on
a straight
dragon?
up giant dragon falling in love with a lady knight, a dame. That's the book.
Are you the dragon or the dame?
I'm both.
I would read this.
I would read it too. Someone please write this.
Is it about self-love?
Sure. Look, I haven't. The book doesn't exist. You asked me what I wanted to read. I think that going back to the whole God issue and how it being confusing, I don't think it's confusing at all. I just think it's like taking a page from these other kind of like biblical themed shows, kind of like Good Omens, where there is a plan. And we don't know what the plan is. And maybe God doesn't know what the plan is, but we're going along with the plan, And
So God is Dumbledore?
sure, Dumbledore.
I still think that it's just literally that, like, this is her fantasy, is, like, being kidnapped and, like, forced to love some, like, terrible person. And there's no other context that you could pull it off in other than something like this. Because if it was just a regular man who was running around serial murdering everyone, this romance would never work. Like, it has to be someone who is doing it because they're being made to do it by a magical divine being. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only scenario in which something like this, where bajillion people are murdered and you're kidnapped and forced to be someone's wife, is, like, okay and even, like, sexy. Like, this is the only context.
And it gets you to root for the bad guys, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they're the bad guys here. Even though she stops him. I don't know. You bringing up Ava Braun really, like, it, like, shook me. I'm like, oh my god, you're absolutely fucking right. This is, like, they're bad. Bringing up, like, Hitler's wife, I'm just like, ah! I'm like, I was so shook by it. I couldn't.
So, Shai, what would be your romance?
Tashai finds a mysterious book. Book gives her unlimited magical powers. Someone's trying to fight her to get the book back. Person is really hot. Turns out it's because he was never hugged as a child. Tashai fixes it. But she's also still super powerful. More powerful than him. Ends up stripping away his magic because he's a piece of shit. But, he, like, helps her around the house. So.
Rate this book. I like it. Here for it.
And I can, like, make it so that everyone that I love is safe and healthy and doesn't ever die, and then I live forever too.
Yeah. Also, in the Lady Knight Dragon
and all our pets.
The sexy times is like, okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever read like the Anne McCaffrey books, the Dragonflight books, or the Dragon Riders of Pern. But all of the dragon riders have like a psychic connection to their dragons, and so the sexy times would be something like that, like a really like a mental connection type thing.
So like in Demolition Man?
Sure.
No, like that book.
The what? No, that's what I'm saying. Like it wouldn't have to be like she's humping the actual.
No, not that. The other book was about the dinosaurs.
We read 2 books about humping dinosaurs.
The one where their
are talking
souls
about?
merge.
Yeah, the soul is merged in like the shadow or whatever.
Yeah.
But she walks through his soul body,
Yeah.
and then they all come.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do to your dragons?
I'm just saying, like, the dragon's really big. Like, what if she, like, kills me? I mean, if I die, I die. So be it.
Again, liar, but okay.
Okay, but, like, I'd much rather... I feel like...
I would die for this dragon dick. Dragon takes dick out. No!
It's not a
No.
boy dragon.
Yeah, that is the lady dragon.
It's not a boy dragon. It's a girl.
Oh, okay. So then you'd be fine. She would just kind of, like, pick you up and, like, smack you against your vagina. And then you're just standing really, like, straight.
We've hit that
You
point
got
to
a
hang
good
out.
posture.
I'm picturing, like, you know, do you remember that, like, one movie I sent you guys a clip of a really long time ago where they're, like, throwing the knives? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sexy.
Yeah,
do you remember that was
yes.
a French movie?
Because we read
The dragon version of that would be, like, Christina in the air, and the dragon's, like, blowing little flames, like, all around Christina's body.
I get it.
Wait, but just to singe off her clothes enough
Yeah.
so they fall off?
Guys!
Christina's like,
I'm super into this. Am I
This
saying it's
could be a
actually
French
me?
movie.
Yeah. Maybe this is what I'll do for NaNoWriMo. I'll just write my Lady Dragon romance. Okay. Whatever. So, did you have any other final thoughts, or do we talk about what we're reading next?
What are we reading next?
We're reading... Girl! You helped me pick! It was a collaboration. Okay, so...
What did you help me pick? I forgot already.
The stripper book?
It's the stripper
X-Men.
book!
Oh yeah, by the author of the Brooklyn Brujas.
Yeah, but don't out her, girl. I'm just kidding. So in order to refresh our palate and to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, to continue celebrating it, we've read Brooklyn Brujas, like 2 books of hers, right? Soraya Cordova.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she's got
Secret
another
double
series, and it is a romance. It's a stripper romance series, and it's written under the name Zoe Castile. And so we're going to be reading the 3rd installment, which I think it's called. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I can't believe it like took me so long. Like I kept seeing it on like.
Yeah, because I was really struggling because I'm like, I don't know if I want to read a Halloween romance. I don't know if I want to, I was just like, I can't decide.
And it was weird. I was like, oh, Chris, well, all the people on Instagram are always talking about this book. And I thought it was weird because they weren't like romance book people, but they all seemed to have read this one series, even though most of their Instagrams were not romance. So I Googled the author.
Yeah.
And Soraya Cordova came up, and I'm like, oh, stupid internet, just because the initials are the same, it's not the same person. It took me a good 5 minutes before I realized.
So yeah, it's called the Happy Endings series. Happy ending novels. And so we decided that we're going to read the 3rd one, which is called Flashed. And it looks like this. So this is my pick, or technically our pick, for October.
Oops.
I don't know if we've ever read an abs book, guys. Like, have we ever read a book with abs on the cover, like just us picking it? I think this is our first abs on the cover book.
No, War has abs on the cover. What are you talking about?
He's an idiot. No.
Does it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
He definitely
blacked out.
Yeah, I already pretended that didn't happen, and I'll never forgive you. So,
oh yeah, okay, you're right.
When a man makes his living by his looks, he can forget that love and lust are more than skin deep. But the right woman can remind him, ... A former soccer player.
Oh wait, also Captive Desire had abs, sort of. Sorry.
But it had lady abs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a stereotypical, like, boys, like, abs on the cover.
abs. Sometimes a book just needs one.
Can I finish the description?
Yeah, sorry.
So fine. A former soccer player, stripper, and model, legendary party boy Patrick Halloran finally gets his big break, starring in the summer blockbuster. But when an accident leaves him changed forever, he hides away in his secluded Montana ranch. Only his new housekeeper is allowed inside, with one rule: she is not allowed to see him. But Pat sees her, and she's the most stunning woman he's ever laid eyes on. Even her voice is beautiful. Still, Pat can't allow himself to get close to anyone. Not without a fight, at least. Dun, dun, dun.
So beastly.
Well, no, because you know what I'm thinking? ¿Tú te acuerdas de la telenovela where the girl was like walking with the mirror and then she fell and the mirror broke and she fell in the mirror and then her face was all busted? Remember that soap opera?
No.
Never mind.
No?
Forget it. Magdalena, or Lena Martell, is a long way from Queens, New York. After a rough patch, the aspiring artist is working her way through college, even if it means keeping house for a man whose gruff voice she can only hear through a closed door. Still, Lena senses Pat's got a good heart, maybe even a lovable one. She is intrigued until his anger sends her running into the freezing woods. Now, Pat will have to find her, and when he does, he may have found the one woman who can thaw his heart, not to mention the rest of him. But can their new bond survive the paparazzi and their personal demons?
Wait, that's a lot. So, he's got a facial scar,
Yes.
and is also very attractive, and is a triple threat, apparently. She cleans his house, loves his voice, runs away to the woods. He has to go save her. There's
I
paparazzi.
bet you that's where they fight.
Listen, this is why I told Chris to do this because this is pretty much as close to like an Andrea fantasy as we're ever gonna find because it sounds like Beauty and the Beast meets Jane Eyre in one book.
And also telenovela.
Yeah,
Yes.
it sounds like such a soap. It takes me back. Gasps in Spanish. So yeah, that's what we're reading, and we'll talk about it next month. I'm excited. I'm ready to like not think about this series until like hopefully we forget about it.
Famine.
Okay.
Honestly, we'll see. I might not pick it if only because whenever I hear famine, like I have this like preconceived notion in my head of what he's gonna look like, and he looks like one of my college exes, and I just can't find that sexy.
Oh, that's what'll do it. That's what'll make you horseman sex. Cool, good to know. Ain't no judge.
Really? Okay, so
No, keep the lid on it.
no. So Becta was supposed to be pestilence, and he was super angelic, beautiful. War looked like war. Wouldn't famine? Logically speaking, I would assume he would either be super attractive or like the exact opposite, much like Pente. So he's just like golito.
Okay, si es un gordito, we can read it.
Okay, I'd be done too. I mean, it wouldn't be
Pero
the
no
book.
creo que va a ser un gordito.
I don't think so either.
Un gordito who like smells like really good food, and you're like,
But you can never have any.
yeah, you're like, ¿alguien está haciendo mofongo? And he's just like,
He's just standing there like a fucking asshole.
sucks, right? It
Hungry.
smells really good. You must be
Hungry,
so
aren't
hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be
So
done.
weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think I would enjoy this series way more if it was more like tongue in cheek
Funny.
or like really aware of itself. But that's why it's written in this way, and it's fine. People like it. It's fine. I just don't like it. I wish that it was more of a, a parody. You know what I mean? And it's not.
Yeah.
It plays it so fucking straight. And it just boggles my mind. I can't wrap my hand around it. But it was a good discussion. Good questions, Drea. Thank you. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk next month or whatever about Stripped. Wait, no, is it Stripped? Oh, Drea, you have to watch Magic Mike XXX.
Okay.
That's your homework. That's your homework.
I don't want to.
I didn't want to read War, but here we are.
Yeah, but it's a book club. It's not a movie club.
I know, but this is like homework. It's not extra credit anymore. It's homework. It's an assignment. It's worth 100% of your grade, and if you don't do it, you will fail.
What happens if I fail? Nothing.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
She's gonna go to that book place and she's gonna buy a book without you.
She already does that.
And then
my
she's
God.
gonna go to that vegan place that makes the one you really like, and she's gonna eat it. She's not gonna invite
She
you.
also already does that.
And she's gonna kidnap Indy.
She would never do that.
Take I would never take
He's too annoying.
Okay.
God, Chris,
I'm awful.
you suck. Stop doing the things that are punishment, because then you can't punish. What are you doing?
I don't know.
I'm with them. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Are you putting some coal around your eye?
Yes.
I do, me.
Are you drunk?
No.
Of course she is. She had a cup of
So
juice.
you routinely use burnt matches to color your nails.
Just kidding.
You're gonna get an eye infection, and then you're
You
gonna
are.
Goodbye, Internet. Adios. Finish. And recording.